Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of Curious Creatures Drawing Workshop. So this week our themes are a hornet, a tamarin monkey, and a panda with 3 legs, 2 eyes, curly hair that lives in a meadow and eats nectar. So having a look at some references, we have our hornet up the top. Now a hornet is very similar to a wasp, but is quite a lot bigger. We then have our beautiful tamarin monkey. Now I've picked a cotton top tamarin, so they've got this beautiful set of white hair framing their face and these beautiful brown and white markings, but you can pick any kind of tamarin monkey that you'd like. And then we have our panda down the bottom, and obviously I have chosen a giant panda. You are welcome to pick a red panda if you would prefer. All right guys, let's get to drawing. So as normal, we're going to start with a circle for our head and a line for our body. Now I'm thinking I'm going to make the majority of the body sort of a tamarin monkey kind of layout. So not too big, not a giant panda size, but more of that flexibility of the monkey. And I'm just thinking as well a little bit about posing at this point. Just thinking what our monkey might be sitting on. So I think our monkey might be maybe sitting on a flower even. So it might actually be more of the size of a hornet. So I'm just blocking in my arms and then my legs. So that's going to be my hips there. My knee there. Maybe my feet sitting a bit like that. And I'll just do the same for the other side, just very lightly because I'm not going to change the leg shape too much. And our tail. Now I am going to have a tail, and I'm thinking we might curve it down here somewhere. So maybe I'll actually make him sit up a little bit more. So guys, as always, you don't need to erase your lines if you don't want to. You can just draw really lightly, or you are welcome to erase them if you need to. But I'll just do this as well as I go so you can see a little bit clearer what I'm drawing. Alright, that's our very basic framework. So I'm thinking we've got these 3 beautiful different creatures to include. So I'm thinking that I want to include these really nice, kind of almost giant antennas up the top as well. And I'm going to include some wings. So some kind of hornety wings. So a hornet is obviously an insect, so they have 4 wings. Even though sometimes it looks like they only have 2, but they actually have 4. And I think with the panda, I might include obviously that beautiful panda patterning. All right, let's flesh out a bit of the body, give it a little bit more shape. I'm going to come down here. And so I'm just referring back to the images that I showed you earlier to get an idea of the shape of particularly the tamarin monkey, as I said, just to get an idea of how big everything should be. All right. And just connect our legs and hips back in, and then do the same for the shoulders and the arms. And maybe I'll give him more of a pandery foot. This is where we can start adding in some more of those kind of details. So maybe have more of a panda foot like this. And then we're going to, of course, add in that tail as well. So tamarin monkey's tail, obviously this is They have very long tails. This is probably a little longer than theirs, but that's okay. I'm going to come down to here. Do something like that. And now the face. Let's play around with the face a bit more. Because I do still want to have that monkey face a bit. So they've got quite a short muzzle on their face compared to some of the other mammals that we've drawn before. I have a lovely little nose here. And then we're going to draw the eyes. And as I said, I'm going to want to put some of those panda markings in. So I think this is the perfect spot to put some of that panda marking in. I'll slightly sketch it around there, shade it in very lightly. So you can play around with this. You might want to give your creature more of a hornet face, which would be very different again. So this is sort of maybe a bit of a hybrid, kind of somewhere in between a bit of the monkeys and a bit of a generic kind of face. And then I'm definitely going to go for the big fluffy panda ears. So again, those big black fluffy ears. All right. Now I've just realized, of course, that we actually said he had 3 legs, didn't we? And I've given him 1, 2, 3, 4. I've given him 4. All right, we've got to go back to the drawing board. Sorry, guys. What was I thinking? Don't know what I was thinking. Here we go. Actually, what if we make... Here we go. Here's something exciting, guys. What if we actually made the tail the other arm? So I'm just going to do a bit of a curly line there. And I'm going to end the tail in a hand. Very badly drawn hand, but that is okay. This is just an idea. Something like that, perhaps. And then we'll come down. So to think about that, probably, so maybe he's got very long hip bone, maybe with legs. Something like that, perhaps. Yeah, let's go with that. All right, now 2 eyes was fine. And then we need to have curly hair, which works really well with our tamarin monkey because they have lovely long luscious locks. All right, just going to add in the other hand, or an indication of the other hand at least. I'm going to put them in just like that. Like that. Now that neck's a little too thin for our creature. You always think the necks look thinner than they are, but of course they have to carry a lot of weight carrying their head around and being able to turn. So they always actually are a bit thicker than you think they should be. All right. Let's add in our curly hair. So you can do this however you want. I'm going to draw some sort of curly patterns here, and I might even have a bit of that curly hair kind of coming down the front. So kind of taking the idea of that beautiful mane that the tamarin monkey has, but I'm going to make it curly and kind of falling down here. And I think I'll give maybe some really curly locks, particularly down around the back of the arms. maybe just a little bit down there by the hands, and yeah, maybe down along the back, just a little bit on the back, then coming down a bit on the tail, or our third leg, as we have suddenly made it. You can do this however you want, guys. And I actually think I'm going to make him a little bit happier. And I think, as I said, I want to have him sitting on a flower. So I'm actually just going to jump in and put a little bit of a background in here, a little bit of a setting, just to get an idea of where it's all placed. So this is the center of the flower. I'm just going to have these stamen and flower bits coming up. I'm just going to have all these kind of different shapes, and I might even put one overlapping. Do a bit of this, because I'm actually going to make him about the size of a hornet, or definitely smaller insect size. So he's going to have the shape of the tamarin monkey, and we'll go back in a second and we'll add some of those beautiful panda markings across them as well and define his wings a bit more. But I've just got this idea that maybe he might have this beautiful flower setting. Something like that, I think. Just going to make his eye a little bit bigger. There we go. Now panda, of course. So the panda is going to have these beautiful black shaded arms. So you can shade all of those in. So you can draw this with pencils, guys, if you finished, or with markers, or you can, if you're doing it digitally, you can absolutely just paint them in after. I'm just going to do this in the sketch phase and just see what it looks like. But I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So we're going to do something like that, and yeah, let's do some sort of really cool kind of shape like that. And we'll shade the tail in as well. But maybe we'll leave the curly hair. Maybe the curly hair will be white. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what looks best. Experiment, guys, and see what you can come up with. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty fun. And then I'm just going to come down and I'm going to just put some more detail into these antennae so that they look a little bit more accurate, a little bit closer to a hornet's, and add some definition into the wings. So on a hornet's wing, you can see this big structural section to the side quite clearly, and then the rest, you'll see some veins coming out, but you won't be able to see all the details of the wings super clearly, particularly if he's flying around. I'm just going to add in some subtle detail like that. I just add in some extra fur. Just indications just around there. And then, of course, do the other side. So you can also, if you guys wanted to do a pattern on the wings, you're more than welcome to. Maybe you want to give the wings panda markings. That could be fun. Or do something like that. Just push it in a different direction. All right, there's our creature. And as I said, I wanted to have him on a flower. So we've got him in that center part of the flower. And I'm just going to just draw some kind of petals along there. Now, I'm not basing this on any particular kind of flower, but if you guys want to find some photos and try and draw a particular type of flower, so maybe it's landing on a daisy, or could be a rose, or any kind of flower you want, you are more than welcome to. It'd be very fantastic to see what you can come up with. Or you might want to come up with your own imaginary flower, which you can do exactly the same process that we do with the creatures. You can find a whole bunch of different reference photos of different flowers and then come up with your own. And that's actually super fun as well. And I might come down here. Do a bit of a stem. Because of course he lives in a meadow. Maybe I'll give some beautiful sort of spike leaves there. And if we want to show that it is in a meadow, of course we can show maybe a bigger landscape in the background with, maybe it's a big flower meadow. So there's lots of flowers in the background. It's entirely up to you guys. Think what you can come up with. And then maybe you can see lots of little other bee-like insects. Maybe they're all hanging around as well. Our creature, our monkey panda hornet creature. So have a think about what you can do. I'm not going to draw the whole background in, but you can absolutely go crazy and draw an entire field of beautiful wildflowers, perhaps. All right, so let's just check that we have checked everything off. So we have got our hornet, our tamarin monkey, and our panda. 3 legs, 2 eyes, curly hair, living in a meadow. And our last one with eating nectar, which is partly where we've put all these beautiful stamen coming up nice and high. So he's just about to take a good munch. Well, that's awesome, guys. So that is our creature, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. There's so many different ways we can draw this one, so I'm very excited to see. See you guys next time.